process. All right, everybody, it's Jeff, and it's Vaj, and it's Scoutcast, and I gotta give you a fair warning. This is gonna go 27 minutes tonight. 27 minutes, because I wanted to get it in, but Hellman wanted to go watch the Cowboys, or the Mavericks, and drink a beer, and you know what? I thought that sounded really good tonight, and watching the Mavericks is part of my job, so I'm gonna do that. Vaj is here. We're counting bricks, we're stacking bricks, we're looking at bricks, and it's an honor and a privilege to be here with you, everybody.
I find this so peculiar, right? So interesting that when we want to watch these boring ass DBs, or when we want to watch these uninteresting safeties, or these handful of D tackles that we can't rank, Jeff is here every day, all day, every day. We on 7 o'clock on the dot, we good to go. But when it's time to talk offensive line, all of a sudden we care about our job now. All of a sudden, basketball exists. All of us. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, you want me to be honest, Vaj? Here's what happened.
Talk to me.
Last night, I woke up at 2:30 a.m. because I had a nightmare. I don't remember what the nightmare was about, but I woke up scared. So I walked to the kitchen, I grabbed 2 paring knives. I went back into the bedroom, I set them on the end table. It took me about an hour to get back to sleep. I slept like crap. And then I woke up this morning, and then we had the presser, and then we did the show, and I was feeling a little bit drained. And I was like, you know what? It sounds like a great idea to get away, to just watch the game, have some beers. It sounds great. And then the other part of me was like, yeah, but you also really want to do Scoutcast. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do both. And then I'm going to sleep my nuts off, okay? So you know what? If next week we want to do 17 more hours on offensive line, we can do it. Because I know you got takes to get off. Vaj has takes.
Jeff grabbed
T-A-E-K-S.
Jeff grabbed a paring knife. All right, cool. Let's get it.
Two of them. I grabbed 2 of them.
You live in Texas, sir. You should get a firearm. But let's boogie, man. We gonna get a little bit of offensive line talk today. About 30 minutes or so, then we're gonna move on. If we got a part 2 next week, we will part 2 it. I've watched thousands of them, Jeff. So I don't know who you've watched. So you can run down your list, and I'm ready to boogie with whoever it is. First of all, let me just do this for all the people that's watching right now. Dak Prescott got his money. So let's just, you know what I'm saying?
Send us your money.
One time for the and we just here to celebrate that. Go ahead, brother Jeff. Hit me with your offensive line.
All right, because you bothered me and made me watch offensive linemen, I have now seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 9 guys, 10 guys, something like that. Okay. And I'll start off with the obvious. At least I think this is the obvious. Shout out to Frankie, Scoutcast.
No, that's stupid pass.
Formula. Tell me about Tonga, the D tackle out of BYU. I'll get there. Broadus tells me I need to watch that. Watch might already be there. I don't know. I will say this: if Penei Sewell or Rashawn Slater is there, you can pick them, and I'm happy. I know everybody wants defense. You can pick them. I'm happy. Same with Kyle Pitts, and by the way, same with Jalen Waddle. Now that I'm done studying the Alabama receivers, same with Jalen Waddle. But probably unrealistic, maybe, probably. I don't know. Steven said.
We need a long show to talk about that, Jeff, because I saw Steven said in particular, hey, man, we ain't got to be tied down in the night. You know what I mean? We may get offense. You don't know what we going to do. You know what I'm saying?
He said defense a million times, but he also said you got to keep an open mind because that's how CeeDee Lamb happens. So I'm like, who's he talking about? Rashawn Slater, Kyle Pitts, Penei Sewell? I don't know who he's talking about. Jalen Waddle? I don't know. I don't know who he's talking about. But I have now seen the first-round guys, and I'll tell you, I got 4 first-round offensive tackles. I have 4.
Okay.
Sewell, Slater, and to me, those are I don't care. I love them both. Slater's a better player today. Sewell maybe becomes a better player. And just saying that out loud, hold on, I'm flipping an order here. Slater and then Sewell.
See, now, Jeff, that's why you, my guy, that's why you one half of Scoutcast, Jeff. See, we can't just continue to go by, I'm doing this just because national media person says this. If you watch the film, what you're going to walk away from with Penei Sewell, and don't get me wrong, Penei Sewell is incredible. But
just say he's a great prospect, but Slater's a better player today.
You're going to walk away saying, you know what, I wish those feet were better. I wish those hands were better. I wish that effort was a little, you know what I'm saying? I wish he was more consistent with his technique, da-da-da, boom, boom, boom. But he's bigger and stronger than anybody I've seen and faster than anybody I've seen at that size ever.
Big, strong, fast, long, dominated as a 19-year-old. Like, that's a hell of a resume.
But every problem I got with Sewell right now, Slater got the level 10 of it. He has the level 10 of it. And,
for sure.
And if you watch all of the Big Ten games, Slater whoops everybody. If you look at like a Mortal Kombat tier boss fight thingamajig. He smokes every single Michigan State child, all the little Minnesota children, and then you go Chase Young film. Oh well, this is the big test. Okay, cool. This is the big test. And even though Northwestern got blown out by 48 points, it wasn't because Chase was impactful. He proceeds to smoke Chase Young for 4 quarters, sir. That's I don't know what more you need from a scouting report to have O-line 1 or tackle number 1 for that guy.
No, I agree with you. I just think, by the way, shout out to Human Being. Let's go. He says more mocks. You know damn well I'm going to do 7,000 more mocks. They say on Pro Football Focus there's been 400,000 Cowboy mocks. I did 2,300 of those, okay? And I got more coming for you, Human Being. Okay, yeah, Rashawn.
Oh, no. Oh, okay, that was dangerous.
Look, people loving Sewell, that's totally cool. There's so much to love about Penei Sewell. I just think that people got to realize when you talk about him, talk about Slater the same way, because they are both awesome prospects. Slater just isn't built like some teams think a tackle should be, and I think that's what he's getting dinged for. Like, your arms are 33 inches instead of 35.
What
You're
was
not
that?
6'6", but he's a monster. He's a stud. He's amazing. He's going to be a great left tackle. If somebody tells you to move him to guard, tell him shut up.
So
you go to guard if you fail at tackle.
So I've talked about this a little bit on my channel, but just for your audience, just in case somebody hasn't heard me say this, I hate when we're doing draft stuff and we go, oh, this person isn't ... and the person picks the anomaly. Oh, well, Joe Thomas got short arms. Okay, well, for every Joe Thomas, there's 1,000 short-armed offensive linemen that just don't work, because that's just how the game works, right? But we actually have visual evidence. You know what I'm saying? Rashawn Slater, he makes his short arms work. How do you do that? You just don't miss with your hands. That was the problem Leo Collins had. And Leo Collins got long ass arms. But if you miss with your hands, people get inside your chest. And that seems to be the big idea with arm length. So if you go against these long arm DNs, you would like to have long arms to mitigate that. But Rashawn Slater, with his hand patience, with his hand placement, with his slap moves, with his there's this little move you can watch in the Chase Young film. That's the only film you need to watch. You actually see Chase Young get the long arm advantage, and you'll see Rashawn Slater just calmly grab his outside shoulder and pull it, and Chase starts to turn, and then just Rashawn Slater's arms just naturally get a little longer because Chase's arms get a little shorter. If you got technique and nuance like that, I don't care about these people that saying, oh, well, Penei Sewell's 19. You know who else was 19 in the film I watched? Rashawn Slater. He's incredible. I'm taking that dude all day, every day, no problem. He's my first guy. That doesn't mean Penei Sewell is terrible. Now,
so the feet, actually, to me, Slater, the feet's the best thing he has.
Yes.
For everything you just named, which is incredible, his feet move like offensive tackles' feet don't move. Like, he's always in control. He's as fast or as quick as he needs to be, no matter what the block is. He's got it. He's super, super good, and he front squats 3 reps at 495. So,
Jeff,
that's nice.
So when I watched the video, right, I was like, oh, this isn't impressive. He's just about to squat 5 plates. I've seen high schoolers do this. Then he flips. Oh, he's front squatting the shit. Then he did it 3 times. I'm like, okay, this dude, that's my guy.
To the ground.
To the ground.
He's nasty. Okay, he's nasty. Slater and Sewell are really,
Are you
really
kidding
good.
me?
Odds are the Cowboys won't have one of them. Hell, maybe they will. But the good news is, if the NFL feels the way that everybody else talks about it, then you got a real shot at Rashawn Slater, and that would be a lot of fun.
Sure.
Lawson Floyd, my guy, appreciate you. He wants to know about O-lineman we can get in round 2. Formula wants us to shut up about offensive tackles because they need help defensively. We're going to talk about all the defense. We're going to talk about all the comp picks. Cowboys got 4 more picks in the draft, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6. So I believe all they're missing is their original 5. And they've got now 10 picks, 2 3s, 2 4s, 2 6s, 1 5, whatever. They got a lot of picks.
This ain't even only a Cowboy show with your selfish.
And I whiffed on that.
Yeah, jerk. General draft knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like
jerk. Okay, I got Tevin Jenkins at Oklahoma State right ahead of Christian Darrisaw. Both first rounders though. I got Jenkins ahead of Darrisaw, and I think that's opposite of a lot of the draft community. But it's because look, Vach. If you don't follow Vach, follow Vach, because he'll watch offensive line before me, and when I watch him, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's what Vach was saying. Darrisaw and Jenkins play the game totally differently. So Tevin Jenkins plays the right tackle for Oklahoma State. Christian Darrisaw plays the left tackle for Virginia Tech. Christian Darrisaw hadn't let up a sack in 2 years, and he's really, really good. He has every physical tool you want an offensive lineman to have. He makes all the blocks. But boy, when he is done making the block, he is done with that play. And if he has to, he wants to snap you in half.
Yes.
Like, he dominated Joseph Osai. And Texas fans are going to tell you, Osai had 3 sacks in that game, and he did. He had a great game, but when he went up against Tevin Jenkins, Osai against Jenkins is what's going to get Jenkins taken in the first round. Because Jenkins dominated him, bullied him, dominated him. The way he approaches it is just, I'm a monster. And he's not super long, and he plays right tackle and not left. And his tape early in the year, I forget who I watched, it was like the 3rd game of the year, was inconsistent and just okay. And then the later you get in the year, he got better. And you're like, holy crap, he's a monster. So he's my 3rd offensive tackle. Darisaw, who I think is also a first-round player, but you said it. You said lazy because you're a jerk, but he does. He kind of looks bored. Like, he's just like, did the job. What's next?
I think because teams can't draft, I think Darisaw might go before Slater. I honestly think that somebody's going to like Darisaw enough to take him around that top 10 range. That's good for us.
Because he looks the part.
Because he looks the part. And to be fair, he's very physically impressive. But when you draft him, we got to do this thing called project. So we got to look for these little tools that when you use them on the next level, what would it be like? And you see him smoking like Quincy Roche. You see him smoking the Duke kids. Those guys are draft eligible as well. So he's beating like good talent, you know what I mean? But it's just you see him beating them because he's just talented enough to beat them. I can make an argument that Tevin Jenkins isn't as talented as him, but Tevin's finishing ability, like his anger, that he brings to the table, bumps him up that level. Not that Tevin's not talented. It's just, I think Darisaw, his size is just super incredible with his arm length. He has strength. You just don't know it because you rarely see him trying to finish people because he doesn't move in that way. There was a play, like I said, Texas film, he's smoking.
I'm gonna miss this, but whatever.
Ronnie Perkins got one good play on him.
Yeah, and everybody tweets it out, and I tweeted it out because I was like, oh, that's a nice play. But, I mean, he did
I
not
missed
get beat
that.
by Ronnie Perkins. He got long-armed once.
Or no.
He did not get beat by Ronnie
Yeah,
Perkins.
But the
I made it.
rest of that Oklahoma film is super
I got
impressive.
some points.
I don't consider Tevin Jenkins. It's crazy that everybody that they want to move to guard, I think are just fine at tackles. Like Slater, Tevin Jenkins, Leatherwood or whatever. I think they're fine at tackle. And Penei Sewell is the one guy that they don't want to put at guard that I think would be incredible at guard because in a phone booth, I think he can whoop everybody.
Leatherwood might be okay. So let's just keep going because Leatherwood is actually my next tackle. He's my first guy in the 2nd round, and I also have him as a 2nd round or end of the 1st round guard.
Sure.
Because he is the one guy. The reason that I would do it is I don't love pretty much everything about Leatherwood's game. Like, is there power? Yes. Is there finishing? Yes. Can he pull? Yes. Like he can do everything. But I do think when you put him against good athletes in space out there, that sometimes it's like a struggle to get to the edge with him. And if you've got quickness, I may not be able to get there with you. So with him, I kind of get it where you can be
And
like, okay,
2 plays
as a
for a
fullback,
touchdown.
he doesn't look like he's going to
Of
be a great
course.
tackle for us. I can put him at guard. For Slater, I would be picking him and saying, that's my left tackle for the next 15 years. If something super weird happens, I'm sure he can play guard. But with Leatherwood, I can see if a team wants to play him at guard. I like him. 2nd round, top, middle of the 2nd round.
Leatherwood's one of those dudes to where if you isolate him, he's not great. But in the machine of that Alabama offensive line, he's doing his damn job. The one thing I'm constantly walking away saying with Leatherwood is that he's too big to play like Jonah Williams. You know what I mean? Because sometimes because he's either or. If it's a small guy, he can get movement on that small guy, right? But if it's like another player, he shows evidence that he can move really well. But sometimes the quicker guy just smokes him, right? If you watch the Senior Bowl practices, Quincy Roche was just smoking the hell out of Leatherwood, running past that outside shoulder.
Which is weird because Roche is not that explosive.
Sure.
But at the Senior Bowl, he looked like he was.
And that could be because he was going against Leatherwood. I don't know.